Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Tonight we have the absolute pleasure of catching up with one of our referee supervisors, one of our level 3 referees, Liam Staff. Liam, welcome. Thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks for having me.
No problems at all, mate. So tonight, Liam, got a couple of questions for you. Obviously, whilst we're in Stage 3 lockdown again in Melbourne, we've decided to link in with some of our supervisors so that you and your colleagues are able to share some of the great experiences that you've had at VBRA Knox over the time. Now, mate, some people may know and some people may not know that you have been a referee at Knox now for 9 years. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the thing you've enjoyed most about being a referee at Knox?
So initially, I was very much interested in earning a bit of money on the side, and just sort of learning more about the game of basketball from an officiating standpoint, and seeing as a player what I could adjust my playing style to suit the rules the best, and being able to understand them. And it sort of blossomed into something that was much more enjoyable for me as a referee than as a player. I was able to, I guess, jump into much higher and harder games and see like the best competition and be part of some of the best basketball Australia has to offer. Along the way, I've met many people, made some great friends, and learnt a lot of life skills. I think that's been really, really helpful for a professional workforce career. So yeah, that's just a bit about me from the start.
Fantastic, mate. And so you talked about refereeing some of the best games in Australia, and I'm assuming you're referring to both your time on the VJBL and also on Big V. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you found that experience?
Well, initially when I first started VJBL and Big V, I thought it was going to be a really, really like big jump. But I guess the advantage we have at Knox is the fact that we get prepared for jumping onto these senior and junior panels to represent Knox, and we know what it's like. We know how to officiate the game. So when we get onto there, we immediately go, oh, this is really, really good. I know what I'm doing. I know how to work with my partner. I know where my areas of responsibility are. We're exposed to all of that stuff from the A grade school. So it's essentially being prepared in the A grade school gives you, I guess, all the skills necessary to start on at a level that enables you to keep up with the game and not feel like you're drowning and you're out of your depth and everything else, which has been really, really helpful. I think that was the best parts about jumping onto those two panels in particular.
Fantastic, mate. That's really, really pleasing to hear. Now, mate, I've actually had the opportunity to reach out to a couple of referees who officiate on some of the sessions that you've supervised over time. And so tonight, I've actually got a couple of questions, one from Taryn Marshall and the other one from Claudia Fowler with regards to your refereeing experience. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to hand over to Taryn, who's got a question for you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi everyone, I just want to say a huge thank you to Liam on every one of his sessions. He always gives me amazing advice and always has a laugh with me, of course. I just want to ask you this, Liam, what level of refereeing do you hope to make and excel in?
Thanks for the question, Taryn. I've set my sights firmly onto NBL and maybe the Olympics if possible. Obviously, as time progresses and my progression along with my age and other factors such as work and everything else, it'll probably be reevaluated. But at the moment, I want to set my sights as high as they possibly can go. And if it means I don't get there, I can still look back at all the wonderful things I've managed to do with the ability to go to nationals, be a supervisor, be a Big V, VJBL referee, and feel like I've still accomplished stuff when I look back at it. So yeah, that's what I look at.
Fantastic, mate. That's a really great answer, and it's good that you've set your goals as high as what you possibly can, and wish you the best of luck with it. Mate, Claudia's got a question for you, so I'm going to quickly hand over to Claudia now.
Hi everyone, I'd like to thank Liam for always making enough time to get around to all of us referees on his session and provide us all with feedback. And with that, I'd like to ask you a question, Liam. What game or event has made you most nervous and why?
Thanks for that, Claudia. That question I thought about a lot over the week when I first heard it. And I think there's a couple of games that spring to mind. The first one being my, I think, final A grade evaluation, where it was Wednesday night men's one, primetime v Dilligaff. It was Jack Connor, and I remember the first foul was a double unsportsmanlike, and I think we removed 3 players from each team at the end, and Ian Knight was the evaluator. And in the end, he's gone, at the end of the game, you've done a great job because no one punched anyone. And that was the feedback. That was a game where it was just like, boy, I hope this doesn't. It was sitting on a knife edge the entire time. And that was really nerve-wracking. I felt really nervous about that. But when Ian's like, you did a job, it was like, everything's, back to normal. And more recently, I think my first, what was it, VC champ men. So not champ men, so youth champ men. I have finally had, I think, 2 decent teams playing each other. So they were both in finals contention at that point. And that was a really high-paced, really fast game where shots were hit and the game was really, really tight the entire way. Thankfully, my partner, Britt Andriola, was very much able to be like, hey, we're doing a great job. This is going well. I think we ended up giving one of the coaches a tee in the third quarter, and that sort of settled the game down a bit. But it was, very, very 2 different extremes. One from being, we've just got to get through the game, make sure no one punches each other, to this could go either way. We could go into double, even triple overtime if we don't get everything 100% right. So yeah, they're 2 things that spring to mind about 2 games that were very nerve-wracking from the start for me anyway.
Fantastic, Liam. Well, I'm sure the girls and everybody else is going to really enjoy hearing about some of your journey, and I guess some of the challenges that you've had along the way, and to hear a little bit about your aspirations. Mate, in finishing, obviously, trying times, interesting events around the world at the moment. Have you got any finishing words that you can share with all the referees who will be listening to this interview tonight?
All I've got to say is, if we all keep doing the right things, socially distance, wear masks when we can, be safe, we can all get back onto the court much sooner than if we don't. Thankfully, we're in Australia in a really good position as a country compared to other places around the world like America. And I'm sure that if we all keep doing the right thing and stay together, work as one, we'll get there sooner than we think.
Fantastic. Well, Liam, mate, really appreciate your time. I do hope you stay safe, you and your family, over this time. And I can't wait to see you back on the court sometime soon, mate. Thanks again.
Thanks, Daniel.
No worries, mate.